In a world of fitness gurus, trainers, and tons of information, myself, Chrissie Sansevier, co-host Chris Marzarella, and comedian and producer of the show, Sean Malloy, break down the real and raw of a fitness-based lifestyle with plenty of tips and insights to achieve today's ultimate fitness lifestyle. Consistency, variety, and convenience all have to come together to help create this listening experience. I'm a NASM certified functional trainer and a corrective exercise specialist. I am also a licensed massage therapist in New Jersey for these past 20 years. My co-host Chris is a USAPL powerlifting coach as well as an ACSM personal trainer and physique coach. Together, we all blend our contrasting fitness ideas and come to you with industry knowledge, integrity, and much needed humor in today's fitness normal. So welcome into your fitness lifestyle podcast. Lifestyle podcast. I'm your host, Chrissie. I'm here with Chris Marzarella.
Hey.
And I'd like to introduce our producer and tech guy who's going to be a part of our podcast now, Sean.
Yeah.
Hey.
What's up, guys?
Hello.
Super glad to be here and showing my face and talking a little bit. Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me on. I'm very excited to I'm sure you guys have seen me floating around behind Chrissie, frantically making sure things are good with the production. And now I'm glad to share a little bit of my voice and experiences with you guys. I'm very excited. Thank you, Chrissie and Chris, very much.
Nice to
Pleasure to have you on board, dude.
Oh, thank you.
We got some young blood here, so it puts a different perspective on some of the views that both Chris and I have. So. It's definitely good to have Shauna with us for sure.
Welcome back. Welcome. Again.
Thank you guys so much. Yeah, let's get started.
Yeah, absolutely. So we haven't seen you guys in a while, and we talked about 2020 was a tough year, but I just wanted to bridge the gap because we're all humans, right? And we all go through some tough times, and some things are just taboo. Yeah, we all want to be positive. We want to be happy. And you definitely want to emanate that to your audience and just to people around you, so to speak. But we went through some tough times, actually, collectively. All three of us have been through some tough times at the same time. And that gives a little bit of a reason as to why we haven't been on. So I just wanted to share with you my story. Chris is going to share his, and Sean's going to share his as well. But we just wanted to share our stories as to what was going on in our lives, and just let you know that it's not always fun and games. It should be, but it isn't always. So,
and I'm sure a lot of the audience, collectively us as a human race on this planet went through one of the toughest years, and probably the toughest year in my memory. So I'm sure a lot of you guys in the audience can relate to and had, all sorts of struggles as well. So we just wanted to take an opportunity to share our story and what we went through, and most importantly, how we're using our fitness lifestyle and other coping skills to cope with, this very difficult time.
Yeah, 100%. Chris, you got anything?
No. I want to start because we got some great stories. We were talking about them before we started recording, and it's just I'm fascinated by all of them.
Yeah, we're definitely we definitely have come out on top. That's for sure.
Chrissie, our fearless leader, would you like to start us off?
I would love to. So I always thought about the unfortunate day that I would lose one of my parents, and I ended up losing my dad recently, right before Christmas. And oddly enough, I didn't find out to the following day because as a massage therapist, I leave my phone off. So my dad passed away at 8:30 the night before, and I didn't find out to the following morning. But he had problems with his legs, and he had a few issues, and he died, we think, of a pulmonary embolism. And that's when a blood clot breaks off and travels to the heart and just basically stops. So I lost him, and I suffer from depression by default. So right away, I was just like I was pained by it. I was just like, I didn't cry. I was just like in awe of the fact that I actually lost him. So what I ended up doing, I mean, I've always worked out, but I found myself the days after he passed away, I was giving myself a break saying, "Oh, I don't need to work out. I don't need to work out." Well, that wasn't the case. I remember getting up, I guess it was 3 days after, I said to myself, I was like, "Chrissy, I was like, you got to go for a run." I was like, when you run or, lift weights, whenever you work out, you mentally feel better. And I was almost using his death as an excuse not to work out. But I figured it out. I sat down, thought about it, and I was like, you know what? Like, I definitely need to go for a run. And it's true. I mean, I went for a run, and man, dude, I pounded that pavement so fucking hard. And I was just like, I was pissed off at the world, this, that, and the other. But at the end of the run, I just felt so much better. So I just remembered how mentally it made me feel so much better. I got my blood pumping, and again, it was a good time for me to think about, all the times that I've had with him. So um, that was the first thing that happened. Then I've always had cervical fibroids. From what I was told, women who've never really given birth or whatever, they're a little bit more susceptible to them. So I ended up getting them, and they are reoccurring for me. I've been getting them, I guess, for the past like 7 years, and it was a reoccurring thing. And what happened was that just basically kind of kept me laying down because I couldn't really do much. So I really wasn't able to work out. So that again put me in a little bit of a depressive state. But as soon as I got the okay from my doctor, I was back at it again. I mean, I couldn't work out when I was obviously going through it, but as soon as he gave me the okay, let's go, went right back into it.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Now, when you have to deal with something physical like that that takes you away from working out, which is one of their, our number one, coping skills for these difficult times in our life, what do you do to keep yourself in it mentally when you can't do that?
I eat super, super clean.
Hmm.
You track macros?
I do track macros, but I mean, I eat super clean. I know if my diet is on point, I'm not going to lose too much. That's how I keep myself mentally in the game. How about you, Chris? Curious.
What's been going on with me, or
No, like how do you say you're laid up? How do you mentally keep yourself? How do you keep yourself in the game, like Sean was saying?
to be honest, I do the same thing. I try to eat as clean as possible. I do allow myself one meal a week. I don't call it the cheat meal. I call it's a free meal where I'm not going to care about the macros. But
A reward meal. Yeah.
yeah, pretty much for staying on point.
Mhm.
But my biggest release um, is video games.
Yeah.
And the more violent the game, the more I get out of myself.
That's actually what's it? Because one of the things I deal with is insomnia, and one of my top coping things is, weirdly enough, either reading or more often than not video games, because it's so engaging, and
Mhm.
particularly first-person shooters. You need to
Oh
be
yeah,
accurate. Your movements need to be all on point. You need to be thinking strategically the whole time, 10 steps ahead. And it gets all of my gears like going enough that it wears it out so I can sleep better.
right.
Mm,
It's the same thing when you're at the firing range. You got to be aware of your surroundings. Obviously, you have to make sure your pinpoint accuracy. You need to control your breathing. You need to um, just try to find that target. It's almost like it's yoga.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Yoga breathing, it can be applied to everything
right.
for basketball shooting, much like shooting a gun in basketball. You know, you're what's it, raising up on the inhale
Yeah,
and then shooting on the exhale.
same thing with squats and deadlifts.
Yep. But
Go
back
ahead, Chrissy. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
back to you.
No,
Sorry.
no, no, glad. And then the third thing that happened was I lost a very dear friend to an overdose of opiates. Now, I this hurt me for many reasons. Most don't know this, but I am in recovery from opiate use. I had a problem with that for quite some time. And when I found out that she ended up passing away, I felt terrible because she was in recovery as well. So just the knowledge of her going back to it was disappointing. That she actually passed away was disappointing. So that definitely hit me hard. And again, I thought for the first day or so to use that as a reason not to do my workout. And I had to self talk with myself and say, again, Chrissy, you've got to work out. It makes you feel better. And you're not the one that passed. So you need to do this for you. And I went for my run and I went to, do my workout. And again, I felt better. Fitness is always makes me feel better. I always feel better when I'm working out. It really
Listen,
it's my passion. It's my go-to when I'm in hard times. It's everything. And I'm grateful. I am so grateful that I found my passion as a young girl, that's for sure. But those three things collectively definitely, hit me hard. But again, I came back strong using my passion.
stronger.
Stronger.
Yeah.
Stronger,
Strongest.
harder, better, faster, stronger.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't heard that song in like forever.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So that's my story, guys. So I'm gonna turn the mic over to Chris, and he's gonna tell us what was going on with him.
Okay, so um, right up until November, my training studio that I have out of my house with separate entrance really took off, and I really haven't let off the gas um, since it really started back in when we got the first stimulus check from last year, and I just poured all that money into the studio, and it was like one of the best things I've done for myself. Um, November hits, and my wife fractured her hip in two places. Uh, Last Thursday, she just had the surgery finally, but just watching her limp around or try to move around, it really affects you, especially when it's your partner, it's your partner in crime, it's your best friend, and you're just watching them struggle, and you don't know how to handle it. I am certainly not equipped to handle what she was going through. I tried my best, but I'm also self confessed a little selfish. Um, but she's just a trooper, and from November to now, um, she's been dealing with it, and that kind of like messes your head up a little bit. And then uh, December moves on, January moves on, and I am crazy busy with work. And February hits, and I got really sick the first week of February. And if I look at the Facebook memories, and I'm always sick this time of year. I always usually get lower respiratory infection of some sort, either bronchitis or flu or something, but it always hits my chest. This year, we had that really bad snowstorm, and the snow was just hard as ice to move. My son wasn't home. He was stuck up in North Jersey. Um, I had to shovel the snow myself, and I was out there for a good time. I was probably out there for about 4 hours, just shoveling and sweating and freezing and just all sorts of shit. So a couple of days before that snowstorm, I got the first COVID vaccine because my immune system is compromised as it is because I have alopecia. And one of the side effects of alopecia is you get a compromised immune system. So I have to make sure that I'm always taking my vitamins, uh, not not enjoying as much drinking as I'd like to do once in a while. Um, just not put myself in positions where I can get sick. One of my clients came to my studio, and I usually I start every session out with taking temperature, and he didn't have a mask on. I didn't have a mask on. One of the rules is if you want me to wear a mask, you can certainly do that. Ask me to wear a mask. I have no problem wearing a mask. I have Under Armour mask, which, by the way, not to pimp out a product, but if you need to wear a mask in the gym, the best one to get is the Under Armour masks for the gym, because they have a nice little space in there so that you can breathe. So he got sick, then I got sick right after that. And we were trying to figure out, is it the COVID vaccine that's making me feel like this? And then the snow hits, and then a week later, I am literally on my deathbed. Like I felt like I was going to die with my chest. My wife was trying to help me out. I didn't even know where I was half the time when I was sleeping on the couch, and I lost all my business, all of my business. So that put me into a funk. Um, the weekend comes, I check myself. I go to the emergency room. They check me in. They tested me twice for COVID, negative each time. They did it in the morning and they did it in the afternoon, late in the afternoon. They said, we don't know what's wrong with you, but you have chest x-ray that shows a lot of flu. We want to keep you overnight. The next morning, they test me again for COVID. And I have a major problem with this whole COVID thing. Granted, it's a contagious virus, but I don't think masks do a goddamn thing. I think half the controversy surrounding COVID is a bunch of bullshit. And it's been reported many times that if you have outlying conditions such as obesity or congestive heart failure or just illnesses that are severe, such as my immune system, you could possibly get COVID. But I have a hard time believing that I had COVID, and they just they bunched in what I had, which is severe pneumonia, with COVID. You know, last year there were 45 million cases of the flu. This year, 925 plus, give or take. Just 920. And you know, Chrissy, that I was going to say this, but it really pisses me off that everything is getting lumped together with COVID. Okay.
Well, you don't think though that a lot of people are saying one of the reasons that the flu went way down is because people were wearing masks and social distancing. You don't think that could be a direct, the lack of flu could be that? You think that they're lumping in the flu with the COVID?
Yes, I do. I think they're lumping it in there because if you think about it, you're not wearing a visor, a plastic visor over your face. Your face is exposed with your eyeballs. Okay. You're probably not wearing the mask correctly. You're probably touching shit on a desk or a doorknob, and
But
you're touching your mask.
your eyes are not connected to your respiratory system though.
I understand that, but
You could still get the virus through your eyes because it's a secretion. It's a
exactly.
I don't know about that. I'd have to look into that.
But the point is, I have a hard time believing half the stuff that's going on with COVID. I believe that we should be vaccinated if you have outlying issues, or existing issues, I should say. I don't think guys like you, Sean, in your 20s or early 30s, need to worry about it because
Oh no, I do, because I live with my parents, and my mother has underlying conditions. So
okay,
my brother just got it, but his second one, and he was a little out of commission for a day, but that was about it. He's otherwise, a healthy healthy kid. But whether it works or not, for me, it's just better safe than sorry thing. Like
sure.
whether I think the mask works, whether I think it's been blown out of proportion by the media or not, I'm just gonna be safe, because God forbid, like, if I gave my parents or anyone else something and it went south, like, I wouldn't be able to live that down. But that's just my personal.
That's
Everyone's got the right to
understandable.
their opinion.
Guys,
That's
I'm just gonna
understandable.
interject something real quick here. I just Googled, you can transmit infections and viruses through your eyes.
But it's probably not nearly as, you know,
Yeah,
the
but it's
same as through your respiratory system, I would
yeah,
imagine. Yeah.
but it's still it's like you touch and you rub your eyes and
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna debate it with my not medical degree with your guys' not medical degrees. I'll
Well,
leave that for other people.
I will tell you that the person who I think was patient slash client zero, when he was bench pressing that day, and he even though he had a normal temperature, we were bench pressing, and I give off the bar to make them start, so there's no God forbid shoulder injury, or they miss the bar or something that can catastrophically happen. So he's doing his couple of reps, and he was going for a 5 rep max, and he was on the third rep, and he coughs, and the spit goes right into my eye.
Whoa.
like, no.
No, that's so gross.
It was I almost wanted to throw up, honestly, right then and there. And I'm not a projectile vomiter. I don't get. I have great sea legs. I don't get motion sick.
Yeah, I don't see you as the guy to what's it, get grossed out easily, but
No, I'm
that's a
not.
little much.
Sean, I've seen when I was a bouncer, like I was telling you before, I've seen people shot, stabbed, bones broken, just compound fractures.
Mhm.
I've seen it all as a bouncer. Just as a bouncer, um, I had a piece of glass shoved in my knee, and I just pulled it right out when a car accident. Yeah. So that really made me like want to just blow chunks bad. So a couple days later, like I said before, I got sick, checked into the hospital. I got checked into the hospital, um, and that's pretty. It's a. I got a curse here. It's a major mind fucker here. Um, I told my wife I had to stay. She couldn't come and visit me. She couldn't do anything for me. Um, but she saw it on FaceTime. My eyes were completely shot, and my eyes were sunken and gray. My skin just looked I looked like an alien, and I didn't really tell her much of what was going on because she couldn't come see me. So I figured the best policy would be to just give her bits and pieces and not tell her exactly what was going on. And the first 2 days, I had 106 temperature. Um, the doctor was the infectious disease doctor was considering putting me into ICU, in an isolated ICU unit. But I think it was right after that it just got really. I just remember rage, and the fact that my body couldn't fight. So I took steps, just making my body, making my mind heal my body, putting myself in a better mindset. 9 hours later, the guy comes back to check on me. He goes, "Your temperature's down to 101." He's, he says, "This is impressive." I said, "Well, I don't know if you believe in the mind and what the mind can do, but I'm a huge believer in mental imagery and just visualization in general."
Well, Chris, it's like Yogi Berra said, right? Baseball is 90% mental, the other half is physical.
But yeah, in my case, that's
great.
exactly right. It's a great quote. So I made myself a playlist on Spotify of, and I'm not going to share the playlist with you guys because it's kind of corny. All
Oh,
right,
come
fine.
on, man.
No.
Come
Right.
on, this is about helping people. We want music that's gonna help us.
Yeah.
Well, it was just something about this entire genre. All right, you guys are gonna laugh.
We got Whitney Houston.
We
Mariah
all could use a good laugh.
Okay, the game by Motorhead, which is the Triple H entrance song.
Oh, yeah, dude, that's a great one. Why would you be? There's no shame in that. That's great.
Carey.
Okay, the Champion.
That's,
No, not that one. The one by Carrie Underwood.
oh, I love that
Oh
song.
yeah.
Lori, you gave that to Lori.
Yes,
And
yes.
she shared that with me.
That's a major song for me. I don't know why. It's just her vocals are fucking impressive.
Sean, it's good. Have you heard it, Sean? It's really good.
Yes, that's a great song.
And then Stronger by Kelly Clarkson.
I love Kelly Clarkson.
Right after that is Destroy Everything by Hatebreed.
Yes.
Yeah. And then
My cheating tongue.
Mama Said Knock You Out by LL Cool J.
Hell yeah.
Lions by Chase Rice. Victory by Diddy. Ready for War by T. Powell. Stone Cold entrance song.
With the breaking glass. Dun dun dun
Yes.
dun dun dun.
Yes. Your Disease by Saliva.
Please
It's
tell
Time for
me.
War.
Please tell me you had "I'm a Real American."
No. No.
Oh man.
No, I wouldn't do that. I don't like Hulk Hogan anyway.
Oh, okay.
It's Time for War by LL Cool J. Till I Collapse by Eminem. Heart of a Champion by Nelly. And I just listened. That's pretty. Here's my total '80s Guido part. This is the No Easy Way Out. I'm from the Rocky IV soundtrack.
That's a great song.
Yeah.
I love that song. I'm surprised you don't have any Rage Against the Machine on there.
You know what? I had it on there, but I was afraid that somebody might listen to it. And the one song I do like,
Love Rage.
yeah.
Love Rage.
I had Stone Temple Pilots. I narrowed it down because I was like hearing the same songs over and over. But I listened to that every morning, afternoon, and night, and it just, for some reason, it was in the pit of my stomach, and it just felt myself getting stronger. Like, I'm gonna beat this fucking thing.
I
And I'm
love-
sorry, guys. I'm sorry, I'm cursing, but the emotions come out easily in me.
But that's
So,
what we want. This is this is our real lives.
you're right. You're right. So I got out a week later, and I had to carry around an oxygen tank with me all over the place.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, my oxygen level was awful. I think it was at 80, 85 when I left the hospital. No, excuse me. It started out at 78, which, like, I could walk to the bathroom and I would be out of breath first couple of days. And then I left the hospital. I think it was at 90. And they put this unit on level 5 for me. And they said every 2 days, you're going to start feeling yourself getting better and better and better. By the end of the week, I was at level 0, but just getting up and down from a chair got me out of breath. And I just got angrier and angrier because I couldn't work out, couldn't do anything. I took another week off from the gym. My studio's right next to my office back cave. So for me to just take the dog out because it's a back entrance, it just drove me bananas to not be able to touch the steel cold metal bar or touch the weights, and it just kept giving me fuel to get better and better and better. Finally, I hit my first workout. I did just band work. I incorporate bands into my workouts, but just the bands alone was enough to get me fueled up to do more the next day, more and more. Going back to my wife, she just had the surgery on Thursday of last week, and she's an absolute dynamo. My wife, she was stuck in the hospital for 2 nights because of low blood pressure from the surgery, and she couldn't keep any food down because she does not do well with anesthesia. And she came home Sunday. Sunday. Yeah, Saturday. Excuse me. Um, and to watch her just sit in the couch is unbelievable because she's just so on the go, on the go. And plus, she's the matriarch and the queen bee in the family. She's taking care of my son and I and my granddaughter. Well, my granddaughter, when she's here, Nana wants to be all over that. You know, so it's a punch in the face to watch her like that because there's only so much I can do for her. But day by day, she's doing more and more, and she's going to beat this thing, obviously. But it's the same thing with when I was in the hospital. You're down, and then you just keep step by step, day by day. You just get stronger and stronger. So, I lost a lot of business from that 1 month in February, but now something crazy just happened where a gym that I worked out of, he bought the place back after selling it to a corporate company that specializes in flipping gyms and turning them into these big corporate fitness centers. He bought it back, which is awesome because I always liked working with the guy. And he wants to make me not only a trainer, but he wants me to be the lead trainer. He wants to call it the elite trainer and be in charge of the programming, which that's awesome in itself. And then
That's
on top
so
of that,
awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
That's awesome.
I can make my own hours, and then he's got a big swim team. This place has a big swimming pool.
Chris?
What's that?
Do I know him?
You probably know the place. It's called Swim Quest, but now it's being called the Rock Sports Club.
Yeah, I know where that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's in Tinton Falls. And if you guys are ever in there, tell them you know me for a day pass, and you get an abbreviated price. So.
Who bought it back? Do I know? I don't know who your friend is. I'm trying.
His name is Andreas.
I don't know.
Okay, well, Andreas is this big swimmer. Back in his day, young guy. He's like 40-ish. I'm probably going to hear this from him because he does listen to the podcast occasionally. But Andreas was asked if he wanted to buy it back, so he got it back, and we had like a 2-hour long discussion with him and his wife, and they want to make me the elite trainer. So that means I get paid the most, obviously. On top of that, the programming, and he's got a good swim team that they're extremely competitive. And in swimming, there's training, strength and conditioning, but they call it dry land training. So there's talk of me being the dry land trainer. So it's one of my things that I've always wanted to coach strength and conditioning for an entire team, as opposed to just working with 2 athletes, 3 athletes at a time. So this is a big step for me. So
this is so exciting.
Yeah, it's a big major deal to me. So, and I've worked with kids who've gone into the NHL and become elite power lifters.
Did you work with any of the Van Riemsdykes?
No.
Okay, because I know they all went to CBA, so I follow them a bit.
No, so yeah, this is huge for me. So that's the last 4 months. Thank you.
It's true what they say, man. Like one door closes, another opens, and this is quite a big door opening for you. I'm very, very excited for you and for you to share like more as you start to get more into this new chapter of your career. I'm really excited to hear more about it, on the podcast as we go forward. Super exciting, man. Super happy for you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah. On to you, Shauno.
All right, so I'm gonna start actually back to explain what was going on with me. You gotta kind of start back a little bit. Chrissie, I can relate to losing a friend to opiates because I lost my best friend to fentanyl when I was 26 years old, and the direct aftermath of that was I went into a total manic psychosis where I was completely unrecognizable as a person, needed to be hospitalized for a while. was on 11 different medications to try to bring me down from that manic state. Went through an intensive 30-hour a week outpatient program, became clinically depressed for about a full year after too. It was a long recovery. Eventually, I got off of all the meds. I was on just some Wellbutrin for my depression. I even got off of that because it was having some side effects I didn't like. And I was on nothing for about 2 years and doing pretty well, I think. Um, but then, even my therapist thought like, I don't think you are really like bipolar like they diagnosed you. Well, about a week after she said that, we found out that she was wrong because things became I don't I you know uh work different jobs. I do podcasts for different people, but also my main gig is I'm a live sound audio engineer, uh and so
A
that
good one
means
at that.
I thank you. I appreciate that. I
Great.
do shows, and during this COVID time with all the venues closed, we had to be creative to get by. I mean, I taught myself live streaming, did live stream shows, and we raised about 3 grand for the bar. um I had to figure out and get all the gear to do outside shows, which is a whole other level of production, and we did that in the late spring over the summer as things opened up. And then as we came back inside, we had limited capacity, and the other sound guy who was my mentor there had to leave because he has pre-existing conditions, so it was all on me. And then on top of that, I was trying to book my own shows and started my own weekly comedy show and stuff just to get more business in there because I was worried about it. And I worked myself into a manic state again with all this and ended up having to go to the hospital for about a week. Now, what's really tough about that is that going along with my mania, I usually get terrible stomach problems from a disease I have called eosinophilic esophagitis. I won't ask
Whoa.
you guys to ever say that again. It's called, like, say EE for short. And that's where these enzymes called eosinophils build up over time in your throat and start pushing everything back out the way it came in. Without getting too more graphic beyond that, I was, yakking and nauseous constantly in the hospital. The people there, you know, don't, they're not there to, there to deal with your head. They don't, when you're in, the psych ward, they're not there to deal with your physical problems. So it wasn't a good place to get better in that sense. And now I've been out, for a few months now, but I'm going to a less intensive outpatient program that, I have to, you know, spoiler alert, I like to smoke weed and drink some beers, and I'm not even allowed to do that now.
Well, we don't know. Nobody else to say anything here.
Yeah. Well, what's it? I'm not allowed to do that if I want to stay in my program, which is what gives me access to a psych and she's really good and has helped me. I'm working through my meds now. No shame in the med game, guys. Don't listen to Kanye. He's an idiot. You need if you need your meds, you need your meds. um,
Totally agree.
that's it. We can be harder, better, faster, stronger than him. But yeah, and then on top of that, I told you guys last week, but I don't think I uh, really got into it. But that my main gig, my live sound gig, the what's it? The venue is in the process of being sold, and so, it, even if like I do have a place there when the new regime comes in, which I'm doubting. um it could be till July that they open back up. So now, I took a day, like Chrissy was talking about, to feel sorry for myself and get out the negative feelings. But then, you know, like Chrissy said, you sooner or later you got to move on. And a big thing that really helps me, especially because I can't drink or get high, is I seek out the endorphins that you can get from doing various physical activity. For me, I'm a little lighter than you two because I'm not a fitness professional, but I love basketball. Basketball is one of my biggest passions. So I get out and get jump shots off. But when I'm doing jump shots, it's not like a normal person. I'm like running around for the rebounds. I'm focusing on making my left hand stronger, doing dribbling techniques, I make sure I work up a sweat, uh, doing it. And I'm sprinting I'm going full speed and stopping and shooting because I take that manic energy that I have, from my disease and try to channel it into positive things to cope. And so one of those is basketball. Also, kicking around a soccer ball and practicing my dribbling with that. You get so much extra leg movement just running around my backyard like that. That even more than basketball gets me a great like runner's high. And then also I've been going for walks with my mother and doing yoga with her, which yoga has always been, not always, but after my first stint in the hospital and my psychosis, I uh, started doing yoga with my mother because she had been, hammering it into me for years. That's her passion, so it's very nice on one level to share that bond with my mother and get to spend time with her. But also, yoga, like, I feel like teaches you your body in a way that like other things don't. You feel how the breathing relates to your stretching, how everything connects to your core, how you know, your move your movement with like this arm relates down through your hips, down through your leg to your ankle. So that has been another great thing for me. It even, like I said before, like the breathing, like the breathing techniques alone from yoga are such a calming thing for me when I feel like I'm working up into like a little bit of a manic blow up. uh yeah, man, yoga has been terrific. So those were some of the physical things I was doing. And then also just like getting back on the horse, getting more involved in this podcast now that I have time, getting involved in some other shows. And I had been networking a lot with people, and I can't stress that enough. I think what's it, you, Chris, and Chris, you would both agree that having a network of people that I can hit up and say, hey, do you need, I have more free time. Do you need any help with this? Or hey, would you like to work on, this, show or podcast with me or whatever? Having um, a dearth of people there for you and a great support structure. Like you guys have been great support to me. Uh,
Oh,
no, really, really, that's the truth. Having that strong support system, I think, is critical for getting your physical, your mental, and your emotional all right.
Surround yourself with good people, like-minded people, such as yourself. I, that is a huge rule because when you're around those type of people, like you said, you get the support system, but you also
Right.
you feel, but you can grow from that. You know what I'm saying? You grow from that as well.
Yeah, and having great people, hardworking people that you respect and you see the way that they approach life and you want to be like them, helps elevate you up. You want to surround yourself with people that elevate you.
in the
Absolutely.
same token, you can say get rid of the negative people because all that shit's gonna do is just bring you down.
Yeah, and that's really tough. And there's definitely been some people like over the past month that I've had to cast out, and then there's people like you guys that I want to be closer to.
Oh,
Yeah,
That's the truth.
it's so true. I totally, and you know what? Here's another thing too. I mean, there's certain friends that I've had for years, and I always say to myself, even if they're negative, and some of them are very negative, But I always say, oh, I've been friends with them for 25, 30 years. But like, see, I'm going in a different direction. Whereas they're either staying where they're at or they're regressing. And anytime I was to spend time with them, it's like it just brings me down.
Hmm.
Mm.
And I've fought this for many people. I'm like, oh, this has been, but then I'm thinking to myself, you know what, Chris, again, they're
Well,
negative. Doesn't matter how long you've known them. It's you have to. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. That's why some people come in and out of your life, and we need to be okay with that. I'm just saying, sometimes it's hard to let go.
It is.
I
It is because you know you can have strong, deep rooted ties to these people, but um, you know if they're bringing you down and making you mentally unhealthy, you got to do what you got to do, and it's tough. It's really hard.
What are we gonna say, Chris?
I was going to say that obviously my wife is just it's indescribable what she does for me and how she has made me a better man throughout the years, and she keeps pushing me to be a better man. And then there's my buddy who we've done 2 podcasts together, Mikey T. You know, he's like the brother from another mother, and then my family, obviously. But the biggest game changer in recent years has been my granddaughter. You know, I look at her, and when she calls my name out, Papa, you know, it's holy shit. You know, it's I got to be better because I want to be around for her.
Yeah.
You know, and just hearing I hear her saying Papa to me. We have a picture. I'll send it to you guys later of her. It's a live picture. You know what I'm saying? You tap on it, you long press on it, and it goes.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, she was playing with her tea set. She got everything together, picked it up in her hands, and the last thing you see in the picture is her running, yelling, "Papa!"
Uh,
2-year-old little girl
That's a
yelling for her papa.
that's a good why for sure.
Yeah,
It's a whole different level of motivation, my man.
you
Yeah.
have no idea how true that statement is,
I
dude.
know.
Oh, I certainly have no idea. I have no idea about anything.
but but she just I look at her, I'm like, I gotta be better, I gotta be better, I gotta be better. And I think right now I'm on version 3.0 with all the changing I've been going through, especially since COVID started for myself. I suffer from PTSD from shit that happened to me when I was a kid. Um, I have a therapist. She's amazing. Um, and I've learned how to deal with my anger and my rage and not let certain things rent space in my head anymore. That's a saying, by the way, that I got from my friend Lori. But she resonates in my head every time I want to get angry at something that happened to me in the past. I don't let it rent space in my head anymore.
For sure,
I
definitely.
love that term, letting something live rent free in your head.
Yeah,
Don't let anything live rent free in your head or anyone.
right. And it just, I've had 2 instances in the past that just made me, it went from a negative to a positive. I just used that as fuel to make me better professionally at what I do. And now I don't have that sense of false modesty anymore. I know I'm good, and going back to my granddaughter, I know I can be better than what I was yesterday. And it's just one thing after another that just motivates me to do something better than I did yesterday.
I have to say something. I've known Chris. I've known who Chris was for actually a number of years, to be honest. Isn't that right?
I think it's 8 years.
Yeah, I've seen. I mean, you used to scare me. I was like, this dude is definitely not fucking approachable at all.
I am not unapproachable, sort of.
Now you're not unapproachable at all. But
Oh,
you're my friend now. But
he's the most lovable goofball that could end me with his pinky, but
He's got like the hardest exterior, and deep down inside his soul, he's a big fucking teddy bear. He knows
that
it, and he doesn't want anybody to freaking know it. I can tell.
he's that prototypical gentle giant. It's such
I've
a
been
real
called that.
like archetype. Yeah,
Totally, I totally
It's a
agree.
cliche.
it is a cliche, but it's true. You're
You are.
that's it. You two are the best. I love you guys.
Well, I love you guys.
You know what? The way I am now, it's just the shit that happened to me in the past. I don't ever want. I'm very overprotective about the people I care about, and my therapist has a name for it. She goes, "It's deranged Batman." You want to protect everybody, but it's your approach that's kind of fucked up.
It is
So-
slightly odd.
Yeah, well,
I'm not gonna lie. I know you long enough to know your approach to certain things are way off base.
yeah. You sound like my wife now. She says the same thing.
Does she? No. She
it-
knows.
Oh, without a doubt. But it comes back to me just having an absolute need to protect the people that I care about in my small inner circle. You know, and if somebody messes with my family, I'm gonna go Joe Pesci on them.
Joe Pesci on your ass.
Yeah. You mother. No, I'm not gonna say it.
Just throw him in the vat and don't worry about it.
Joe,
What are you laughing at? Do I amuse you? Think I'm funny?
I want you to put in a soundbite for that soundbite you just did. Do I amuse you?
I think I can keep it under, if I can keep it under 6 seconds, we're legally allowed to do that. But especially as we're going to be branching off to YouTube, I get, you have to be very careful with what's it, getting
Copyright.
demonetized, yeah,
Right.
and copyrighted on YouTube.
Yeah, we're gonna start a YouTube channel soon, and we're very excited about it.
And you can see the Shrek that I am.
And your cool backgrounds.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, I
And
got
you got-
Batman and the Joker.
You get my fancy hats here.
That's a nice hat.
It's
like
the it's the classic '90s San Antonio Spurs logo.
Oh, yeah, it is.
It's got like the pink, yellow, and it's almost got like the Miami Vice type or vaporwave colors.
That's the
which I
80s,
love.
young man.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I
had the
meant more the
pastel
color
suits.
scheme. Yeah, that's it. I used to have a blue pastel suit like that I was going to wear to my high school prom until my girlfriend cried that she's gonna be embarrassed.
Yeah, that is slightly mortifying.
I had the blazer with the sleeves rolled up, the t-shirt and the no sock sandals. Don Johnson in
It's
all
so
the way.
hot, dude.
Yeah.
My hair was like up here. I would do my hair. I swear to God, I tease it, stick it up, and I would go to bed. I would lay on my back and I would not move. And I'd wake up the next morning, and my hair would still be high, and I'd be like out the door.
How much Aquanet did you use?
What?
How much Aquanet did you use?
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is.
Probably best.
It's shellac in a spray
Is that
can.
what they use for the Jerry curls?
No,
Hairspray.
complete opposite.
Okay.
Hairspray. It's like you could take your hair like this, fucking spray it, and it would like end up straight.
It stands there.
It just stayed there. It was awesome.
They're probably all the users of Aquanet were responsible for the ozone layer hole.
Probably the 80s totally did. It's not real climate change. It's Aquanet of the 80s. Oh shit.
I used apple pectin for the Billy Idol spikes when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fun.
Oh yeah. I went through all of it. That's when I had hair, so I could do that. I had the pick with the
Yes!
straightener.
I still use the pick,
No, I don't. I used to scratch my scalp.
actually. Me and my brother go to the same barber.
Yeah, but I use a chemical called alopecia areata.
Keeps the hair off.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah.
So anybody, you guys have any last words here?
No, just super, super glad and appreciative that you guys, brought me on here. So this is a very, it's tough to talk about these things, but I still got a ton of laughs with you guys, and that's why it's the best.
Yeah. No, listen, we've all gone through stuff like that. Your story, there's people out there who are going to identify with it. And it
That's
really
the hope.
pains me, and it still actually pisses me off that we still find these types of things to be taboo, which it's still slightly aggravating. I don't care what people say. People talk more about it. I will say that, but
Mhm.
it's still not completely accepted.
I
Oh,
agree
for
with that.
sure, for
It's
sure.
not. It's if we were. I mean, it's like you can't like go in and talk. This kind of stuff can't be revealed, like job wise stuff like that. People look down on it, and
Oh yeah. Three years ago, I was not willing to talk about it. And you had asked me before to like come talk about it, because we'd been at this for a while, and I was still not comfortable, up until recently. This is the first time I'm talking about it on, any of the podcasts that I'm
well,
a part of.
I'm glad. I'm glad that you. I'm glad
Me
that you,
too.
man.
Well, this is the right place, and you guys are the right people to talk about it with.
Hey, it's
Absolutely.
nice.
I'm so glad. We got enough skeletons in our closet to share too, right, Chris?
Definitely. I have no idea.
I do. I think I do. I think I might very well know. But so we're gonna wrap this up, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you can identify with any of the stories that you heard today, it's all good. We're definitely not alone in any of this. So I want to say thanks again, guys, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.